Okay, I think we are all set.
Welcome to One Page Story Extravaganza Livestream with Run C Man. I write and illustrate a one-page story every day based on ideas that come from viewers like you. Maybe today will be your idea.
Okay, we're here. Hi. I'm doing a Wednesday stream, which I generally don't normally do. But I'm back to doing Tuesdays and Thursdays, but because I was away yesterday, and I'm here today, I thought I'd do a stream today. I got some fun things. To go over with people and to show people. Really exciting. I came home to a bunch of mail, and I like mail. So, but some of it's just boring. I'm going to be honest. Some of it's boring mail, and that doesn't necessarily affect what goes on in the stream. But others of it aren't. So, today's page, this is the page I intended for Monday. I have another page that I'll be posting later on. But in the interim, Flyers is from a suggestion of what do I dream about, and I just wanted to play with this one and to try some different things, and incorporate a bunch of little elements, and so this came together rather nicely. Hiya Linda, hiya Tim. So that's today's first post, which is intended to be for yesterday, but I couldn't figure out how to do postings on the other social media. I couldn't have all that managed, honestly, while we were away. So the second one is going to be put up later on today, and these are some of the things that I did, some of the arty things that I did while we were up north at Willowwood Camp on Rice Lake. Take a look into it. It's a super, super cool, lovely camp. And we really enjoyed it, our time up there. It was just nice to be able to relax for a couple of days. It's been an awful lot of heady business for months. So, so that's underway. Now, in the mail, I got some rather unexciting things, for others, like I got a new device so that I can, manage people's purchases at events and things like that. It's a thing for my phone that you can scan it or click it or tap it and all that jazz. So it's not all that exciting for other people. But the other thing that came in the mail, I'm going to switch over to the other camera to show you, if I can figure out how the buttons work. This came in. Alph Abet Book number 1 came in, and we're really happy with it. There's a couple of things that we're really pleased about. It's the same size as One Page, and which is peachy keen, and so we really are quite happy with that. And same width, same size, same page count, and then the quality that the pages were printing at is beyond what I thought it would be. Like, it picks up, let me see if I can do that in a way that you can see the texture. It picks up the tissue paper texture on this page. It picks up the texture in the tape on this one. Like, it just, it picks up the little serrations and scratches and electrical tape and different things that are in this guy. It's, I'm really happy, and the quality just surpasses what I thought it might. And so every page is a letter of the alphabet. So I got a really cool review up on the Amazon page about it already, and I'm very appreciative of that to Marvin. Thank you. But kind of gave away the ghost. There's no X in here. There's no X. It's A to Z, but W, Y. So the whole idea is this: for when people are purchasing copies, my intention is to do a one-page story with the letter X. Why not pick an easy letter? so I can put the X page in the book this way, and that, or we're gonna have to figure out a way. We're learning how to do this right now, where I'm going to scan the X page, and for those that pick up a copy of it, I can email the X page to them so they can print it out themselves and stick it in the book. And in that way, people that don't have the X page, that's just a little extra. Well, nobody has the X page, but for the people that aren't buying one in person, they'll have the X page that way. I hope that makes sense for you folks. So the idea with that is that just a fun little way to complete the alphabet, but at the same time, give it something interesting. So, and then, just sort of completes the book. But I'm really, like I was saying, I'm really happy with the overall quality of the book, and you can see how it's got its own color system. And ideally, when anybody that might pick up a bunch of books, they line them up on the shelf, and they all have this consistency to the spacing on the covers as they go down. So that's what I'm hoping anyhow. Oh my goodness, Linda says, cool, that will be extraordinary. Excellent. So what I was thinking maybe is that today, for the one-page story, we can think about letter X, like words that start with the letter X, and we'll write those down as we go, and incorporate those into a one-page story. And I'm going to do it on a large piece of paper in a landscape format, so that nice and big and easy to see. And then this way, people that get to be actively taking part in the making of the extra page, extraordinary, extra, excellent, extravagant, exuberant. See, these are E words. These are all E words. I guess it might very well end up being, just words with an X in them, something like that. So, so here's what I put forth. And if people... is that better? I got a light missing there. Sorry if it flashes, but now we got better lighting. Okay, so I forgot to turn the light on. I apologize. So here's our page. Here's our surface that we're going to be working on, and so we'll just get cracking. So what I'll do is I'll start a list here, and if anybody in the chat that's tuned in to the stream wants to, type a word that starts with X into the chat, and I'm going to try to write them all down. And then we'll go from there and try to incorporate the ones that we can. I'm really, really happy with how this book turned out, and the colors are just beyond, and the printing is just beyond my expectations. Like the black in that, the crispness of the contrasts are just, I'm very pleased anyhow. And so I'm Xanadu. Is Xanadu a place? Because I know it's in Rime of the Ancient Mariner, and Xanadu, the Kubla Khan, a stately pleasure-domed decree where Asp, the sacred river, ran from sea to shining sea. That's how I remember Xanadu, but we'll put it down anyways. It's also Xanadu. I realize that when I do this, I look like a Muppet. Okay, so Xanadu is our first word. Okay, so anybody that, that one comes to mind, let us know. So let's start with Xanadu. And then we'll get cracking from there. I have to do something. Yeah. Other than that, I hope everybody had a good weekend. Another thing that we put into play this weekend Oh, there's a new one-page story read-along up today. There's a new one-page story read-along up on YouTube here. And then one was put up on the weekend. It was a drawing I did with my left. It's a one-page story that I did with my left hand. It may very well be the silliest one-page story read-along there is. It clearly, in my head, is. And then today's pretty silly as well. Oh, nice. An idyllic, exciting, or a luxurious place. Nice. Well, that would definitely describe Kubla Khan's place. Okay, well, let's do Xanadu. Yeah, and anybody else that comes up with the next word, just let us know. We'll put it in the book, and then we'll incorporate it in the page. And then this will be something that people can get to include in their copies of Alph Abet Book. I'm trying to get myself organized. It's strange, the first day back here in the studio, I really am disorganized. You know what I mean? Like, I've got to plant my feet again. You sort of step away for a moment, and then your equilibrium really is kind of off at that point, because, you know, you've been away, you've gotten to a different routine, and because of that, it just sort of makes you have to do extra steps in order to get back to your rhythm. All right. I got a message. Sorry, just one sec. I apologize. I'm trying to think of X words myself, and I keep thinking of words that are EX, which is not the right idea. So, idyllic or exciting place. I like that a lot. All right, well, let's start drawing that, shall we? I'm gonna look for my circles. There we are. Boy, am I out of sorts. Okay. So if we're working on this large surface, I'm gonna put the first panel, just for scuzz, I'm gonna do it circular, and then we'll go from there. Do you know what it is? I let the kids use pencils, and then, yeah, it was fun. Taught a bunch of small people some art up north, and yeah, had a nice little holiday. So I'm going to put a circular shape for the panel. I'll zoom in so we can see things a little clearer. So we'll start with panel 1. Okay? There we are. So, and I'll get my noggin off here. You don't need to see me. Okay. So, Corbin was really upset when I was away. So our first X word is Xanadu. I'm going to write in the chat. Suggest a word that starts with X. There we go. Okay. So let's get hopping. I'll sharpen it with a crazy tip. All right. So Xanadu. Let's start off with our first panel. We'll do a circular panel, and I'm gonna immediately be silly. What? Not you, Chris. Say it isn't so. It's so. Just for those of you that may well remember this, And for those of you that don't, well, here's something exciting for you. I thought for the first suggested letter, X letter word of Xanadu, I would start putting in Olivia Newton-John. And that's what will start our page. She was in the film Xanadu, and I don't know how long ago that was. I remember watching it when I was younger. I remember the theme song for it. It made an impression on me. Not quite the same impression as it did with her song Let's Get Physical. That, oh my goodness. People that watch it today wouldn't think so, but it was really racy at the time. Linda says, that's a great start. Anything that involves roller skating, you can't go wrong with. But Olivia Newton-John had big eyes. She really did, so. I think she's passed now, I think she passed away recently. I don't know. I can't tell which celebrities are alive or dead. So I'm putting in her surprised look. Xanadu was just after she did Grease, I think. I think it was. Maybe it was before. I'm not sure. For all I know, it could be 10 years later. So another little exciting thing to tell people about is this. I'm just going to switch over for a quick sec. So this is ready. And so this will be coming. Oh, Linda says that Olivia Newton-John died in 2022. Thank you, Linda. So this is finished. This is ready to roll. So this will be the next thing coming out. And extra sneak peek for you. That's what's next. A stream of conceitedness. This is one book. It's an entire book. So that's what we'll be doing after one page 2. So streaming conceitedness will be at the end of the year. Okay, let's jump back over here. Hey, Chris has joined us. Hi, Chris. All right, let's get these X words in our list. X files, okay. Xenon, Xerox, and xylophone. Excellent. Okay, we got a bunch of X words. If anybody has any other ones, I'll do whichever ones I can, that's for sure. Thank you, Chris, for that. I appreciate it. Linda. All right, Chris K. There we go. Write anybody's names down so I don't forget to give you all the proper credit you deserve. Yeah, sorry I was not here yesterday, folks. I was still coming home from up north. But we're here together now. It's a Wednesday. Just thought I'd make up yesterday to people that were waiting for me, going, where is he? What's he doing? Calling all X words. X-Men's kind of an obvious one, isn't it? There have been so many fun jokes about the X-Men. The X-Men's, E-C-C-H. There's a Mad Magazine parody. They did the X-Men, and they're all gross. But we'll put it down in the book anyways. X-Men. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't think of that one. That did not come to my mind, strangely enough. Okay, so I'm drawing Olivia Newton-John in for our first word, which is Xanadu. Xanadu. Oh, that's off panel. Xanadu. She's got, looking at this, I think I'm realizing that Olivia Newton-John kind of had Barbie doll eyes. You know what I mean? Or anime eyes, or whatever you call it, where they're just gigantic eyes. And she had an overbite too, actually. So I'm just using a green color erase pencil today. Xanthan. Okay, xanthan I'll get written down. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do all of these words, but we're going to do what we can. Xanthan. And then Friday this week I have to go back up. I had to drive through Toronto last night and Sunday. But I'm going to drive back to Toronto tomorrow. Or not tomorrow. What day is it? It's Wednesday. Friday. Thank you for xanthan. That's a good word too. There you are. I have lost my handy dandy eraser. So hopefully this will end up looking like her. So I'm just using the same pencil. I'm just different amounts of pressure gives us different opacities in our line. The same as it would from a regular piece of graphite. But because I'm using a color pencil, I often feel like it I enjoy the texture of it more. It feels like I'm drawing with a more rigid pencil crayon, but at the same time, xanthan gum is a thickening agent. Ooh, excellent. Thank you, Linda. Gotta make sure my erasers. What that? Students use your tool and then, oh boy. Make sure that it still works the way you want it to work. Hopefully this is gonna look like her. Olivia Newton-John passed away in 2022. I always like that song that Preston Cheney. Well, I can't remember. I think it's Preston Cheney. Sang in Greece about, look at me, I'm Sandra D. Rizzo, that was the character's name. I've got her eyes a little too intense. Anyways, it's very exciting to have the 2 books out, you know, at this point. Good feeling. That they line up is really the part that makes me very particularly happy. I did her eye area here incorrectly. I'm trying to figure out what's off with the shape on her face, and it's that I wasn't able to get that eye correctly. Chris says, I can't stay. I'll see you around. Well, see you, Chris. Thanks very much, and thank you for all your suggestions. Those are great. Okay, so we're going to put the cheek in now. See, that feels better. It doesn't feel so gaunt. And I'm going to do a little bit of accent on the mouth here as well, because this is way too dark over here. And we've got to make sure we put in, I'm going to erase this out a little bit. Bear with me for a sec, folks. So there's the shape of the mouth. But we've also got to account for the shape of her tongue. That's better. Whoops, I'm so sorry. I moved out of panel. I apologize for that. That feels a lot better. So now we've got her looking a little more like Olivia Newton-John. It's the silliest little things, you know, when drawing someone that makes or breaks a portrait. It's the tiniest little thing to fix that. Okay, so we've got our hair started. We'll just keep that rolling along. We already got her bursting outside of this circular panel that we started things with, and that's fine. Get her chin here. How old was Olivia Newton-John when she passed away, I wonder? Have to look that up after the stream here. So just different applications of pressure. A little more pressure for the darker lines, less pressure for the lighter lines. My mother's always liked Olivia Newton-John's music. Born in 48. So she would have been 71 or 2 when she passed. Very good singer. Very talented singer. I think she was Australian, if I'm not mistaken. I don't do, honestly, I work so much in mixed media. Sometimes it's just nice to draw with a pencil. I don't do pencil drawing all the time. I do it when I'm working on projects, largely for others. Linda says, I always liked your songs too. Oh yeah, good stuff. There's her, trying to get her hairline in here. A lot of the, because I'm doing an awful lot of the shadows with the pencil, British Australian singer and singer and actress, according to Google. So our first one is Xanadu. And we're doing Olivia Newton-John is what I'm drawing for Xanadu. So far, I'm going to do a fun little take on Xanadu. And I got an idea for what's next based on one of the suggestions that came from Chris K there. You always want to try to find a framing element, like if you're doing a short story that, you know, can reference different factoids as you go, like in, you know, in this case it's a bunch of different words that start with the letter X. So I'm going to use one of Chris K's suggestions from up above as the framing agent. Trying to get these different value shifts in here. Hopefully that's easy to see for folks. Get our shoulder line in there. The big 70s, very popular in the 1970s. And it says she was a 4-time Grammy Award winner. Wow, nice. Apparently, she's the one that everyone wanted. Hoo hoo hoo, buddy. So we're going to get that. We want to find that sweep of the feathered hair. Feathered hair was very big in the 70s, 60s and 70s. I always thought that there's no way that people could have had hairstyles like the band the B-52s. And then I saw some photos of my wife's aunts in 50s, 60s, and they had all the hair. They had the same hair as the ladies in the B-52s. So, a really great band, B-52s. Well, hopefully that's looking like Olivia. Just gonna get this hair extended out just a little bit out past the edge, just to make it a little more interesting in this panel. Just something different to be something different. Trying to get that hairline correctly here. This is at the start of the whole crazy bangs. Started in the late 70s, 80s. And by the time early 90s came around, girls were using dust clouds of product to shoot their bangs straight up 3 or 4 inches off your forehead. Interesting style. So there's her hair coming in now. Some sort of films all sort of stand out at the same time period. Xanadu, that Olivia Newton-John was in. Oh, now I've completely forgotten. Logan's Run. That was another one with that same sort of vibe or aesthetic. Just trying to think of, what was it called? Roller World or Roller? Anyways, it's all about the roller derby. So I'm going to come in a second with the complementary color to the one that we've been drawing with. And I'm going to pick out specific areas to beef up. So here's Olivia. And then we'll have a little outline around, you know, her hair and her eyes. Just push a couple of the lines. This one's too long, or else I'd include it. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll just do this. Yeah, that works. So, doing these little outlines tends to allow you to pull some values in a different direction than the others. Like, I really want to enhance the black, or at least this dark value, this charcoal color around the eyes, by using the red and the green together. There we are. Hopefully that's really got a hold of her expression. I think it has, but the whole trick is to convey it to other people. Okay. So if you've got a couple of different colored drawing pencils to use, try ones that complement each other really well. We have 42. So I'm gonna get all this done here. I'm just gonna get this finished up. Sorry, I keep cutting off. Got a lot going on in my head. A little bit of a goober there. Get that fixed. Okay, so here's our first suggestion of Xanadu, and the first way that we're going to start depicting this is with Miss Olivia Newton-John from the film Xanadu. Okay, put that red down first. I suppose every place else, or put the green down first. But it does the same trick. So here's our first panel started, and yeah, I'm feeling pretty good with that. You know, let's have her. Just give me a sec here, folks. My doodad is being funny. Alright. And it says, cool first panel. Thank you. That's very nice of you. Well, let's go right into the next part of Xanadu. How's that sound? And then we'll get into so we can rough it out, if that would help folks. But my idea here is to have her to now draw Genghis Khan in relationship to the Rime of the Ancient Mariner poem. Linda says, I like this circular shape. Well, thank you, Linda. So I'm going to draw Genghis in here. Or, a facsimile. It's been passed for. I don't think there was ever photos taken of him, I'm not sure. If I'm not too far off there. So we've got our circular panel, which goes over to here. And so I'm going to draw him half sitting in front of it. And so the first dialogue will be between her talking about Xanadu and him talking about Xanadu. Because I think that's fun. They say that Genghis Khan and his warriors were so busy that there's a massive percentage of the world that's related to him or descended from him. So I'm just putting in his headpiece here as I go along. If you're enjoying all the things I'm trying to get going right now on the YouTube channel here, because that old like and subscribe business. I don't know if you can see it yet. Big fur coat on this guy. Trying to think of collar line here. Let's make it a big coat. Because he is gangsta. So the idea with this is, by having Genghis Khan in here, specifically to relate the two different versions of Xanadu. And then I've got to incorporate a couple of characters here from something that Chris has suggested, so. Yeah, just measuring things out in my head, folks. I'm debating on whether or not I should have his hands on his knees, and then that would determine the height of the top row of panels. We'll get his hand in here, just to get a sense of how crazy big his coat's going to be. Christopher Men could show up too. Doing the shadows here now. And in this big puffy arm. Pretty good. Sorry, I was just looking at a message. I apologize. Coming up on 1 hour on the stream here today. We won't be very extraordinarily long tonight because I'm trying to keep things tight like a tiger. There, there's that hand, there's that hand. Oops, I'm so sorry. There's that hand, there's that hand. I lost my red pencil for a sec. We'll get that back. Okay, yeah. Get his background placed in here, and there we go. X-Men and C-Man and Kublai Khan. There you go. Let's put some little textures in. Okay, so we've got Olivia Newton-John and Kublai Khan, or I'm sorry, yeah, Kublai Khan, and that's the start of our little one-page narrative. We have to come up with all these words starting with the letter X. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to be back in a little bit, and I think I'll be back in an hour or so. So in about 10 minutes, I'm going to take a break, and then we'll come back and we'll do some more. I'm enjoying drawing today. I hope you're having fun too. If there's any questions anybody has, or any one-page story suggestions they want to throw at me, well, don't throw them. I'm sensitive. But if anybody has anything they need, just feel free to contact me. Otherwise, I will be back in within the hour. I'm getting this hat. He's got a big hat. You know what they say about what's the problem with all the world's conflicts? People with different hats. All right. So I'll get some of his, decorative patterns that are behind him, and we'll have those overlap Olivia's panel. Just to give it a little more complexity. I'm going to come back in with the red and clean stuff up. Pardon me. This is fun. I enjoy when something like this happens. And you have one pattern overlap another. In this case, the decorative elements from behind him are interacting with the border area here, this circle that I've drawn for Olivia Newton-John. So this is a fun situation. eagle-like pattern in here. It's got it coming out as well on the opposite side. Yeah. And then we get this part. It's tricky drawing ornate things that are real things. It's one thing to make up ornate things. Okay, so there is the start of our page. So I'm going to use this red really quick, just to be sure to separate what's going on in the foreground from what's going on in the background. I missed my line a little bit there. It's alright, we got it. I'm just going to do the framing around what will be the face in a few minutes. Then it says, awesome page, Christopher. So I'll pull out in a second and see how much room we have left. Just breaking up the shapes. Here we go. Okay, so thanks, Linda. Linda says, awesome page, Christopher. So this is our first two panels coming together. So the circular part around Olivia Newton-John, and it gets crossed over by the ornate fufura that's around the throne of Kublai Khan. And a familiar, like the commonplace thing that these two have is that he built a wonderful city in the desert called Xanadu, and Samuel Taylor Coleridge wrote a poem called Rime of the Ancient Mariner where he mentions it, and Olivia Newton-John did a film called Xanadu, and these two things are not related. So we're going to relate them. So there's, I'll show you how much space we've got left on this page, because there's actually a lot of room for the remainder of the page where I try to incorporate these various letters that people have suggested, because I've only used about 1/8 of the page in total so far. So yeah, we'll get going on that. And there's where we are for our first panel of words with the letter X for us to do something with and then have for people that have got copies of our alphabet book. Okay, I'll be back in a bit. But thanks everybody for coming and hanging out. I will be back very soon. Okay, and I hope you'll join me then. I'm just going to be streaming X amount today, so I'll see you in a bit.